Started. What is going on, everybody? It is again masterclass time. Thank you guys for coming out. This one's going to be going a good refresher of how to build an account, kind of risk management 101, building an account, how to have a game plan for each day. If you have a small account, how to build it, etc., etc. We want to make sure that you guys, it's easy to get caught up, especially when you see big wins throughout the group or just big wins anywhere, right? On social media, whatever, whoever you're following. And so you get caught up. You're like, oh, I want big wins. I want this now. And so you get more caught up. It's easier to try to obtain something in an easier sense than to put in the work and then try to obtain it that way, especially when you're seeing all this wins and you're struggling. So what's the easy way to do it, right? I'm just going to follow alerts. I'm just going to do this and that. But we need to build a foundation first, right? We need to build a foundation first and foremost, when it comes to trading. You can win a bunch just following someone else's trades, but then you're going to hit a losing streak, right? What if they hit a losing streak? If you don't know risk management, you don't know how to enter or exit a trade, don't know how to build a foundation or understand a chart, any of that good stuff, it will always end badly for you. Always end badly for you. So this will be a good one, refresher.
Yep, I'm excited for it. I think Justin, you hit the nail on the head there, guys. Just remember this. Every single person that that does anything good in life or has success at anything, they were once at one point really bad at it. Right? They're really bad at it. So you want to take a helicopter to the top of the mountain when that person backpacked the whole way up. Right? And there are no helicopter rides to the top. Right. So just remember that, guys. Remember that, like Justin said, you can get caught up on social and in the chat, someone has a 30 grand day or 40 grand day. You're like, why can't that be me? If they did it, I can do it. Then you oversize on your next trade because you just think that if I just hit that one trade, my whole life will change. And I promise you guys, it's never worked out that way, But, so just, always, to keep yourself grounded. Trading is an overly emotional and cortisol spiking career to get into. Right. And those that are, they have their emotions in check. And if they don't have them in check, they can understand when they are getting overly emotional or starting to think in ways that they know aren't going to be good. Right. In the long term for their account, they step away, they understand they're being emotional, et cetera, et cetera. So guys, remember, it's always you versus you. Okay. It's always you versus you, because if you take calls today and Justin take calls and you have $50 on the trade and Justin has $5,000 on the trade and you make $50 and Justin makes $5,000, was one of you guys more right than the other, or was one of you guys more wrong than the other? No, not at all. Right. So it's like you're trying to compare apples and oranges. All you need to worry about is, was I making and looking at the right thing? Right. Was I making a judgment or a thesis and making the right trade plan and executing? Because at the end of the day, that same trade at $50 or $5,000 or $500 is the same trade. The only thing that changes is your emotions and the psychological factor after you get into the trade. So if you could build that foundation when your size is smaller, then you make your way up to build your account from there. And I think that's going to be something we're going to go over today a little bit. But I see it in the chat, unrealistic goals. Yes, that's the other thing. What you think you're going to come in with a $5,000 account and make $5,000 every day? That is extremely unrealistic, right? Extremely unrealistic.
$500 account, you're trying to make
$500 $500 and you want to make $1,000 a day. It's like, whoa, what? Wait a minute, right? Be reasonable. I'm sure we're going to touch on that here later, guys. But anyway, excuse me. Go ahead. We'll get into it, Justin. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. So how to build an account, proper risk management, psychology, all that good stuff. What I need to, I should take off small account, but what do I need to build an A account, right? Forget the small. What do I need to build any size account? It's going to be patience, discipline, proper risk management, right? Always these three things. First and foremost, you're always going to have patience, right? Patience comes to waiting for your trade to set up, no level, no trade, waiting for an entry. And it even goes more so you're in a trade and waiting for the trade to play out. right? Because how many times do we get into a trade? You're in it, you're slightly green, you're at like 3%, and you're like, oh, I'm green, and you get scared and you cut the trade, right? And then you just keep doing that over and over and over again. And then you get into a losing trade and you're down 10%. And now you're
Mhm.
holding on to it. And then that's when your patience kicks in because you're like, well, I want to be green on this trade. So I'm just going to hold it. And then you just wait. It's down 20%. It's down 30%. Now you're down 50%. And then you cut the trade, right? Um, you have to let your winners run, cut your losers sooner. When you get over a certain amount of time, you can average down, right? You see me, I average down very rarely. It rarely happens, but when I
Yep.
do, it's because I have extremely high conviction on the
Yes.
trade. Uh, that's the only time I'll do it. I do it very rarely, but when I do it, it's because I have extremely high conviction. I'll average down on a trade. I'll swing it for a little bit. But other than that, we need to cut losers very quickly. Let winners run.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things, yeah, especially I remember, getting into a trade and then it would just be slightly green. I'm up, I take the trade at 50 cents. It goes to 53 cents. I'm out. Like, oh, I'm green. I'm out.
Yep.
Right. And then it runs to 80 cents or whatever,
Mhm.
So staying patient for one, for entering, waiting for your trade plan to play out, no level, no trade, and then being patient, letting the trade play out, right? Not being
Yes.
so quick to just take profits as soon as you see green. There's
Yeah.
things you can put in place once you go green, like a stop loss, right? You could put it to break even.
Mhm.
Managing the trade can keep you, in that trade longer. So next is going to be discipline. It kind of goes along with patience. Having the discipline to not oversize, to not FOMO into a trade, to not force a trade. Um, waiting for that again, discipline to have the patience to wait for your entry, right? Discipline to have the patience to let the trade play out kind of goes hand in hand. And then
Yep.
just proper risk management, guys. Especially in the beginning, a lot of you are newer, been in 6 months, maybe a year, maybe even 2 years, maybe even 3 years. 3 years into the game is still a beginner trader in my book.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
think you think you have all these years, but 3 years is still you're relatively new. There is a lot can happen, especially 3 years. You came into the game during the COVID run. I mean, you haven't really seen much. I'll say that you haven't
Yep.
really seen much. Um, So you definitely need more experience. So it comes back to proper risk management, especially if you're newer. We'll get touched into this, but it's just about sizing down in the beginning.
Mhm.
Trading at the end of the day, no matter what size you put on it, no matter where you are in your career, it's all about making and executing good trades. That's the money will always follow if you execute a good trade. In the
Mhm.
beginning, it's really not about making money. I know that sounds weird and it might turn some of you off, but it's the hard cold truth. It's in the beginning, it's about building that foundation of understanding, everything I talk about every day, how to enter a trade, how to exit trade, the risk management, staying in a trade, how to read a chart, how finding your setup, finding what type of trader you are. Are you a bounce type of trader? Are you a reject type of trader? Are you a more bullish or bearish type of trader? Do you like breakouts? Right? What type of trade is best for you? Do you like the morning trades? Do you like the afternoon trades? Right? That all goes into building that foundation. So in the beginning, guys, it's really all about doing less.
Yep. Yep. I think the big thing I want to hit on too is the patience, especially with a small account, trying to build a small account. You're not going to take every trade. As a matter of fact, you're likely not going to actually have a great setup and trade every single day. Right. It's not going to happen usually. If it does, that's great. But a lot of you guys too, if you're talking about stop losses on small accounts, if you have a small account, you're probably taking something short dated, right? Maybe you're getting stopped out a lot. And the cold hard truth is you're not being patient enough on your entries, right? It's hard to have a percentage stop on something that is an underlying asset um to an equity that you're trading, right? Or an asset vehicle you're trading. It's an underlying extremely volatile, right, asset class. And easily, right? Easily you could go ahead and see that. What I mean today, today on the put trade, you could have had four 30 to 40% drawdown, but we never made a new high of the day, right? We never had anything tell me that the trade was off, etc. Right? And if you're not willing to incur that drawdown, then you need to be more patient on your entries a lot of the times. And I think that's the big thing that I think anyone can work on it, but especially small account peeps. The entries are crucial. The entries are crucial. Okay. And I think we'll go over it later.
And
But
feeding
you
off
could,
of that,
yeah,
just the reason I drew this, guys, just feeding off about the entries and not seeing a great setup every day is because you could see a lot of us in the chat, whether it be Paul, other traders in the chat, right?
Gordon, G Money. Yeah.
Gordon,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
we can trade the action, right? So as a beginner trader, as you're trying to build an account, you want to trade the big levels, right? These big levels, whether that be 191 on Apple or whatever, you want to trade the big levels. What a lot of us can do who's been doing this for a lot of years is that, yeah, we can take the trades in between here. We could take the puts here. We took the puts here. We're trading in between levels and we can do that quite well. For most of you, you're not doing that. You should not be doing that. You
Mhm.
should be waiting just for these major levels to either reject like here or, breakout, retest, take long, whatever be a bounce near the level down here.
Yep.
Trading the in between these big levels is where I see most traders fail because they're like, oh, I need to take a trade, or they see other people in the group and they're like trading in between big levels. And so they're like, well, I need to be trading, right? Just wait for the big levels. And that's all about doing less. Like we just talked about, maybe there's some days where there's no setup for you.
Yeah.
And that's just because maybe it's in a range, it's bouncing between big levels, and we don't really get to a certain level on whatever trade plan you have. And some of us over years, once you get to a certain point, yeah, you can trade in between big levels. But in the beginning, you should really solely wait just for the big levels to trade.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good point. You got to wait for those
Smiley face.
confirmation, because if you diddle in the middle and you don't have, if you don't understand what can happen in the middle,
Yeah.
you're not ready for it. You'll likely have drawdown, and if you have drawdown, you're more than likely with a small account because that money is so precious to you, right? And 20% on a small account is typically something that you view as hurting your account as a whole, and you end up getting out of the trade early, although the trade ends up playing out, right? Ends up playing out in your favor, right? But because you watch your P&L or your size is a little too big on a small account, right? That it's not good to diddle in the middle. Let's just say that. Don't diddle in the middle. Okay. Do not diddle in the middle unless you have the experience and unless you have the account size for it, where one trade will not wreck you. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys have already read, it's been up for a while. Sounds silly, but maybe simple trading is 90% mental. And the more reason traders can't grow their accounts is because they lack taking the side of trading seriously. It's what you should learn to really manage first. Your emotions, FOMO, all that good stuff is, a lot of traders, especially in the beginning, they think I need more indicators. I need to learn more about technical analysis, more about all of the things that are great and they work. But if you don't have a good mental, right? I mean, you guys saw me, I think it was on Monday. I think it was pretty sure it was Monday. I hesitated a lot. My mental wasn't the best that day, right? Even though I knew exactly what I was seeing on all these trades, but I was just in a fog from the long break, right? And so, the mental side of it is really trading. That is where you win and lose when it comes to trading. You can understand an A+ setup, you can see the A+ setup, but if you're trading with fear, you're not going to take it, or you take it too late at highs. You force it, you FOMO into it after it's already running, right? So start to focus on the mental side of it, right? Controlling your emotions, not trading with fear, having the confidence. And again, there is no holy grail strategy. So even though I have the BBR, I still use other types of strategies. I still use other things. Use what's best for you. Just like in the BBR strategy, there's the 1348 cross that we use. People are super successful using the 921, using the 920, using the 820, right? There's really a million different ways to trade. There is no one strategy. So trying to look, your holy grail strategy is whatever works best for you, right? There is no one strategy that is going to just take you to the holy grail, right? I use a bunch of different things when I trade. It's not just one particular strategy that just kills it for me every time. Psychology is the first step when it comes to trading. It's the most important, in my opinion. Technical analysis is powerful. Absolutely. It's what we use every day to take trades, to enter trades, to find trade plans. But traders find it hard to make money, right? Because they can't close the gap between possibilities available and their bottom line performance. They rely on emotions. Oh, this trade should play out. You're in a losing trade. No, I'm going to hold on to it because it's going to play out, right? Uh, there's a good setup, but you're scared because you just experienced some losses. So now you're scared to take the trade, and now it starts running. And then you FOMO into it at the top, right? Very emotional. You're very emotional into it. I want to make a lot of money. So what do? You oversize into every trade, right? Very emotional type of trading it's just going to wreck you in the end. So we have to learn to control our emotions and really treat it like a robot. It's physically impossible. We're humans, but there's always going to be emotion when it comes to trading. But at the end of the day, it's if this and then that. That should kind of be how you trade every day. If this happens, I'm going to do this. If that happens, I'm going to do this. And that's it. There is no emotion behind it. It's just this and then that. Try to keep your trading to only that. And the best traders aren't afraid of being wrong, losing, missing out, or leaving money on the table. And what do we see every day from everywhere? Social media, in the group. Oh, I missed the trade. I missed the call. I missed this. I missed that. Oh, I should have held on to the trade longer. Oh, I lost. Right? Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Mhm.
Right? You have to get to that point where it doesn't matter. You get into a trade because it is the setup. The setup's there. You're going to get into it. If you lose, who cares? If you didn't get into it and you miss out on one of your trade plans, guess what? There's going to be another opportunity into the market. You take profits a little too early, obviously not talking about like 3%, but say you're up 20, 30% and you take profits, you didn't hold runners and it runs to 100%. Oh, well, you still got good profits on the trade, right?
Yep.
So coming into the trade, you have to accept every single possibility. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They get into trading because they want to make money, but they don't actually accept that they can lose, that they can be wrong,
Yep.
right? They take profits early on in trade and they can't accept, they bring themselves down. Trading's already hard enough. So to say that like, oh, I suck or like I should have left money on the trade, you just got a profitable trade. So why are you bringing yourself down and putting a negative connotation on a winning trade? Trading's already hard enough. So why do you keep putting negative connotations on yourself? That's only going to cause you to get into bad trades, oversize, stay in losing trades, right? Because you keep telling yourself, oh, I need to hold longer. Oh, I need to hold longer. And then you're going to hold long on the losing trade, right? So one thing we need to really understand and really accept is that anything and any possibility can happen in the market.
Yep.
So
No, I think that's well said, guys. A lot of that, when you're talking down to yourself or you're not, being positive, typically will force you to want to do something in the market where you just want to be right over showing the market tell you what the right thing to do is, right? And typically that'll just kill. And from there, you know, kind of get unhinged or whatever. You know, you could easily see that it could blow you up, if you don't have a big count or whatever, and you're, being super stubborn or FOMOing or not being you'll size up, you'll do something wrong, you'll do something stupid, like we like typically say, right? And then you'll be out of the game completely, right? So I think the last note here is only taking the trades that give you the highest probability of success. That's a big note. I think everybody should write that down. Also write down underneath that, no level, no trade, right? No trade plan, no trade, right?
absolutely.
If you haven't planned it out, I still see a lot of you guys, and it's you guys know it's super evident to see who gets into it, who follows an alert, follows somebody, who does something. It's super easy to see the ones that either one, they don't even have a chart up, right? Or two, they're just blindly following along. They have no idea what's going on. They just see red on the trade. They start complaining. They start this, they start that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Are we still holding?
Are we still hold? We aren't doing anything. We are a community that uplifts each other, but we are not trading together. We are not clicking the buttons for you. You're not clicking the buttons for us. We are not doing anything. You are always looking out for yourself and what's best for your account at all times. If that means getting into a similar trade because you like the setup, you had a similar trade plan, that's great. If it means not doing anything, that's what it means. But if you say, are we doing this? We are not doing shit. You need to take responsibility, right? You need to take responsibility for your trades, your setups, your trade plans, or you need to take responsibility for your lack thereof preparation, right? You think these, you think professionals in any field don't prepare? You think a professional salesperson that does 7 figures just walks into work one day and just says, oh, I'll just pick up the phone and I'll talk to whoever? No. They come in the night before, they put a call plan together. They have their script they already know. They have the product they're going to sell, right? Every trader the night before, they're charting. They're looking at levels. They're looking at flow. They're looking at this. They have contracts up. They have this. They already know what they're going to be looking at the next day. NFL players, NBA, you think they just show up to the game? No practices during the week, no weightlifting, no treatment, no film, no anything. No. There's nothing you can do in life where you just show up and you're just fucking great at it. That's impossible, right? That's impossible.
Yep.
So I promise you guys, I mean, like, you could go through all of the, people that have said things, testimonies, etc. Guys, it's all here. It's all here. Okay. You have to, there become like, we can hold your hand. We can lead you to the water. The water is here. It's in the Discord. It's in the tabs. It's in the Wolves University. It's in the psychology. It's in the library. It's here. We've led you. But if you're not going to drink, then you're not going to reap the success, right? That a lot of people that are reaping, right? Success being a lot of the dollars you guys are looking for, but really it's just great execution with money being a byproduct. That's all it is. Okay. Great execution might be a product. How many people this week said, I've taken all my own trades. I've got bangers. I've got this. I've got that. I've seen it 1,000 times in the chat. I'm green today. Best thing, no call outs. It is possible. Okay. It is possible. You're going to have to take the training wheels off. You're going to have to get some scrapes and some bruises. Okay. But what's on the other side is truly rewarding. Okay. So, don't be the person that blames everybody else for their lack of preparation or their lack of accountability. Okay. I mean, it fogs up the chat too. This is a little bit of like a kind of a side that we're going on here, but it fogs up the chat. We have so many people that don't say anything that are here for the data. They're here for the information. They're here for what other people are looking at. And you got one people that because they have no idea what they're doing and they're complaining and they're saying this and they're saying that, they're just fogging up the chat. Guys, I promise you, put in the work and you do it long enough, you will have success. Okay. You will, just like anything you do in life. Okay. Anyway, I know I kind of got out there, but
Patience.
the slide says patience on it. There's been a lot of patience getting tested in the chat, right? So anyway, just wanted to say that. I thought that was an important point to make. But yes, patience.
Trading less, guys. Trading less, especially in the beginning. 1 to 3 trades max a day. We'll go over this, but really, it's 1 trade a day is all you need at the end of the day. I mean, how many in the group now where they've only taken 1 to 2 trades a day and they're highly successful now because they've just starting to do less? Type it in the chat. How many have only done are doing less, but now making more?
Yeah.
Right. So trading less, I know it's weird because in life, right, we're always taught you do more, you get more. In trading, it's almost the opposite. Doing less will provide you with more.
Yep.
Staying patient, right? No FOMO. We already kind of talked about all this, but no FOMO. Foreseeing the opportunities the market gives you as positive. Not caring about what others are doing. Again, doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It's you, your account, your journey.
Yep.
And then we've already talked about all that.
Yep.
Discipline. I know I pictures.
Do your dishes, baby. Do your dishes. You need to put someone making the bed. I think that's the better one.
Yeah, probably better one.
Doing the dish because it's like, what is that guy doing?
You have to have discipline, right? And what does that mean? right? Sticking to your rules and never breaking them. We break rules. Yes, absolutely. It happens.
Mm,
But we talked about this before. Write a list of your rules out, put them by your computer so you are seeing them. That is probably, especially in the beginning, the best way for you to not break them. Um, and when it comes to doing rules, guys, one thing I do want to say is don't create a rule list where it's don't do this, don't do that. Always spin it into a positive note. I will do this. I am like only take 1, 2, 3 trades a day. Don't put it as don't take more than 3 trades a day. Put it as I will only take 1 to 3 trades a day, right? Always spin it
yeah.
kind of more in a positive sense, positive
Yep.
note.
I will look for
Um,
my best setups.
yeah,
Like, there you go. There you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
It's just better on you. It's better on your
Hmm.
mental. I mean, there's studies done that, being positive in that doing stuff like that where it's positive instead of saying no or not. It's just better for us as humans. We get better
Yeah.
results out of it. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, sticking to your rules, sticking to your strategy. There's a bunch of different strategies. But that kind of goes in where you're just going to blindly take a trade where you're looking at the chart and it's not really your setup, or it just kind of looks good, right? Oh, it looks good, so I'm just going to take it. If it's not really your strategy or any kind of setup that you've taken before and you've proven to yourself to be profitable with, just don't take it, right? Even though it might seem really good or there's other people taking it, just kind of stick to what you can do best, right? Stick to what you can do best. Only trading A plus setups, being disciplined in all areas of your life. That's why I have this picture. So to come back to it, if you're disciplined in most areas of your life, then that will result in being, the more you're disciplined in certain areas, will just create more discipline in the rest. Uh, if you're not disciplined, like you don't make the bed, you don't clean up after yourself, you don't do this, more than likely you're not going to be disciplined when it comes to trading. Now I want to tell you guys
Hmm.
how to live your life. Uh, but it's really true. If you're just disciplined in any kind of sort of part of your life, like doing the dishes, doing your bed, cleaning up after yourself,
Yep.
going to the gym, you obviously don't
Yes.
need to do all these things.
Eating
But if you're
well.
just the point is, if you're just disciplined in your life of what you need to be disciplined in, it's going to come over and you're going to be more disciplined in the other areas of your life that you need to be. Right.
Yep.
It's a routine essentially that you're setting up for yourself. So if you can create a routine, it will create a routine for your trading, right? Trading needs to be a routine. I wake up every morning, I look at charts, create my levels, create my trade plans. Right. I pretty much my life is boring. It's really the same thing I do
It
every single day. I'm not gonna
is
lie.
boring.
It's really the same thing I do every single day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's boring, but it gets the job done, right? It helps me be successful in what I need to do.
Yep.
And don't keep trading after losses. That's one discipline that a lot of a
Yeah.
lot of traders can't, you know,
That's the
can't
hardest
do.
thing to get over.
Yeah. Oh, I
I
just had
have to
one
I
loss.
have to be green. It's like, no, you have to execute good trades. That's it.
Yeah.
Not I have to be green, right? That'll kill you. That
Yeah,
will
because here's the
kill
thing.
you.
You can execute a good trade and it
And
can still be a loss.
yes,
That is something
absolutely.
that you need to understand is you can execute an A plus setup and it'll
Hmm.
be a normal market loss, meaning that, the setup was there, everything you 8 times, 7 times out of 10, you take that trade. It's very profitable. 3 times out of 10, it's not.
Yep.
And does that mean it's a bad setup? No.
Nope.
It's been proven that it's a great setup, but there's going to be times where that setup just does not work out, right?
Yep.
But you executed it well. You still executed how you would have executed those other 7 times that were profitable. It's just that this time it just didn't cut, it just didn't work out.
Hmm.
So you can still lose, and you will lose. In fact, you will lose, even on A plus setups.
Yep.
So just accept that. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Now you can still go back and journal. Now, if you go back and journal and you say it wasn't part of your A plus setup or wasn't part of your trade plan or anything like that, then yeah, you kind of did not execute well. But if you executed exactly to your trade plan and what you had set up and you still lost, it's all right. You still executed a good trade. So
Yep.
executing good trades does not mean that you're always going to end them green.
Yep. But you put yourself in a good probability too. I think.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to add to the last slide before we get on to this next one is, Justin's talking about the little things in life, right? The discipline, make your bed, clean your dishes, go to the gym, eat well. All these just these little things. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I don't know who said it, but the two guys
Andy
were talking.
Frisella.
It was, but he had John Gordon on. John Gordon's like a well-known life coach. He's coached, he coaches the coaches of all these NFL teams, et cetera, et cetera. This isn't something but they said this little line while I was listening on my way home just last night. And I think it was John Gordon. He just said, look, how you do one thing should be how you do everything, right? How you do one thing is how you should do everything. Okay. And if you don't, you'll realize that you're lacking, certain things in your life. Right. And that's maybe why you're at that current, financial level. Maybe that's at that current level in your job. And that's why you can't seem to get in shape. And that's why all these little things, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you wake up every day with a positive mindset I call it getting shit done, right? Making moves. If you wake up every day just to want to get better, doing the little things every single day is going to get you better. I promise. So making your bed, eating well, cleaning the dishes, being a good husband, being a good father, mother, dad, or brother, sister, whatever. How you do one thing is how you should do everything, right? You're not just a super good salesperson and then you're a shitty person in life, right? How you do one thing is how you should do everything, guys. So everything you do in life should be good, especially has to do with trading. Okay. Most traders you probably know that are successful are, like Justin said, they're boring, they're mundane. They do the same thing over and over and over and over. Why? Because it fucking works and it produces the results. If there was some sequel, holy grail fucking thing that nobody's fucking doing, and if you do this one thing, you're going to just be this gazillionaire successful. No, there's not. Right? Do the boring shit. The boring shit works. It works. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Justin, for going back.
Of course.
Yep.
Third thing, proper risk management. Again, gotta have proper risk management. Buying time on your contracts. I play a lot of ODT. I call it ODT, zero DT. No risk starting to put time out. Whenever we don't trade Spire QQ, or at least for myself, that's always buying time. So we're always buying Friday's contract, always buying time on it. But in the beginning, right, if we have a zero DDT call, you can take a 1 day out, 2 day out. We have a masterclass over this. Check the masterclass section. I think it was the last one we did, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, we took last week off, right?
It was the last one. So last one's a masterclass, guys.
Watch it.
Go over it. Watch it. Very good.
We talk about buying time and how it's still sexy. I promise. It's still sexy. Yeah.
Playing with a portion of your portfolio, right? Not full porting every single trade. Even if you have a $500 account, doesn't mean you don't need to throw $500 on the trade. So you take one contract and trade with that. Yeah. Yes, you might be only making 15, 20 bucks, but you're building that foundation. You don't have, a bigger account. You don't have the experience. So you still just need to play with a portion of your portfolio always. Not risking it all on zero DTE, right? So not risk, especially if you're not good at it or you're newer, you're not throwing a huge size on that. Using only profits to trade, we'll get into that. No revenge trading, we kind of just talked about. If you have a loss, don't revenge trade, don't oversize to get it back, right? Oh, I'm going to get it back. I'm going to make that money back. You're not going to make anything back. What you need to focus on purely is just executing a good trade the next time, right? Executing a good trade. I think a lot of you can even attest, right? You've made a lot of money. You lost a lot of money through trading. And what has been on your mind the entire time during that? Like say you're down 10 grand. I've seen some of you come into the group. Oh, I'm down 20 grand. And that's all you talk about. Oh, I hope I can make this 20 grand back. Like every single day, it's all they talk about. Oh, I hope I can make this money back. And that's literally their main focus. It's not on executing good trades, not on making good trades, not on any of that. It's literally just focused on, I'm trying to make this money back. Well, if you are only focused on that, I guarantee you're probably going to lose even more money because you're not focused on the thing that can make you money, right? So don't revenge trade. There's no making it back. It's just, if you take a loss, cool. Who cares? I mean, how many times have you guys seen me? I'll take a loss. I'll come right back next and then hit a banger. If I was sitting there like shit, I made a loss, and then I get all emotional about it, probably would not do good for the rest of the day. And what happens?
Yeah.
I set myself, I come back, I'm good.
Take a lap, whatever
Take,
you
and
want to
then I
call it.
execute
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
trade. And you know,
You did that the other day.
yeah, exactly. On
Like
Monday.
literally.
I
I think
can't,
Monday. I think
yeah, I'm like,
Monday.
I'm leaving, coming
You're like,
back,
hold on.
boom.
You said fuck this. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
Right.
came
And
back.
that's true. I think I see in a comment in the chat too. I think the proper risk management. I think we can add this to it. Is the P&L comment?
Mhm.
The P&L will make you do something stupid
Absolutely.
because what you're doing is you're trading solely off of looking for profit. You're not trading to execute. And if you have to look at your P&L, that means you're probably sized too big, right? If you have to look at your P&L, you're probably sized too big. If you can't incur 20% drawdown on an options trade, then you are sized way too big, right? You're sized way too big because I'll tell you this, you're trading an underlying asset that is pretty much 100 times volatility. I mean, each one contract is 100 shares, right? It's gonna be fucking volatile. You can get 20% on one 5-minute candle up or down. If you're not ready for that and you're not ready to incur that, then you're size too big. Okay, so size down. Have levels be invalidating your trades, not X amount of money lost invalidating your trades. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
That's
it adds to your
huge.
emotions. Exactly. Ivy just said it. Looking at your P&L during the trade adds to your emotions. You're emotionally attached to that money still. Is basically what it is. You are emotionally attached to that money still. Okay. So anyway,
Think about this, your risk
hide your
management,
P&L.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay, say you throw on $1,000 trade, but you have a 20% stop loss.
Yeah.
So what is your risk management at that point? Is it $1,000? Or is your risk actually $200, right?
Yep.
You have $1,000 trade and you have a 20%. You don't want to go below 20%.
Yep.
Is your risk really $1,000 or is your risk actually 200? Your risk is actually $200.
Yep.
That's what you're willing to lose. So why not start trading with
200.
$200?
Yep.
You won't be as emotional because
Yep.
you were already willing to let $200 go to zero, right? Lose it all. So why not start to trade with $200
Yep.
and then focus on the chart and what the chart is saying, then focusing on your P&L. That's going to help you guys out in so much. It's going to help you guys out so much. I promise.
Yep.
Yes, you throwing on $1,000 trade versus a $200 trade, the amount of money you can make difference on that, yes, it is bigger. But with a $200 trade, 20%, $40, right? You do that
Yep.
2 times a day, that's $800. And you said, wow, that's $80 on the day, right? In 10 days, two weeks, that's $800. If you did that for a full month, $1,600.
How many of you guys would kill to grow your account $800
Every
right?
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. But you guys want to grow it like that today. Or 8,000 today. It's like, dude, are you in this for today or the long game? In the long game, think about if you would have just actually see 20, take 20 every single time, every single day that you were swinging for the fences, every single day that you wanted to 10x your account. If you would have just saw 20, took 20. Okay, if you would have done that, what would your account actually look like right now? Guarantee for 99% of you, it would look a lot bigger and better than it actually looks right now. Right? So just think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. If you would actually started and been like, okay, I'm gonna execute good trades. I'm gonna look at 20C20. I'm gonna put runners on, put stops to break here. I'm gonna constantly grow my account. I'm not gonna have $2,000 in my account and put 1,500 on a trade and put 1,500 on a trade and think like, well, if I win, I win big. But if you lose, you're out of the game.
Yeah.
Right? So think about that. Think about that. Okay. Anyway. Buying time. Yeah, go ahead.
Buying time, yeah, is just kind of just at the end of it. If you're on Monday, you could buy Wednesday's contract, right? So SPY, for those who don't know, before the zero DTE craze, SPY only traded and the indices only traded Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You could only buy Monday's contracts, Wednesday's contracts, Friday's contracts. And then they open it up since retail into options became very huge. They opened it up to every single day. They said, we're going to take more of retail's money. So they open it up zero DTE every single day. So what you could do is on Monday, you just buy Wednesday's contract. On Tuesday, you buy Wednesday's contract. And then on Wednesday, buy Friday's contract. Thursday, buy Friday's contract. And on Friday, you could buy Monday's contract, right? So that's just kind of a way that you can buy time when you're playing the indices. How to set stopper proper stop losses. A couple different ways. I'll let you know which one I think is the best. OCO orders, right? Bracket orders allow you to sell order and a stop order at the same time, allowing for both protection and take profits, right?
Yep.
So how these work is you enter into a trade, it will set a profit order. Say your profit order is at 30% and then your sell order is at 20%, right? So as soon as you enter into a trade, it will set those limit orders immediately for you, right? And then you can move it up or down depending on, how you want to play it out by that. So that's one way to set a stop loss. Another one, which everyone talks about, is what percentage should I have? 10, 20, 30, whatever. And then the last one is level stop losses. This is something that you guys should try to get to, is a level stop loss. It takes some practice, but that's just going back to the chart and going back to what we just talked about. Don't throw $1,000 on the trade with a 20% stop loss. Throw $200 on a trade. Obviously, you don't have 100% stop loss. If the trade isn't working out, still get out of it. But you can now learn to say, okay, if it doesn't break this level, I'm going to stay in the trade. Or if it breaks this level, it invalidates my trade, I'm going to get out. Right. And then that could help you learn that level stop loss. Because how many times, we see it a million times, I have a 20% stop loss. It hit it and now it's running. Million times, right? Million times that, especially as a newer trader, I'm going to have a 20% stop loss on every trade. Man, it just keeps hitting my stop loss. And after it hits, it just runs in my direction. Right? Because percentage stop losses are great. Sorry, they're great. Yeah. But they're really not based off of the chart. They're still based off of your P&L, right? Still based off of what you're willing to lose. If you base it off of the actual chart, then you could stay in the trade a little bit longer, right? So level stop losses is what I think everyone should aspire to get to. And remember, it's not about getting rich overnight. It's about being consistent and compounding gains. Don't look to make money, look to execute good trades, and the money will come. Very, very simple there.
Mic drop.
So I go over BBR. No, I haven't done over BBR. Let's go over this real quick. Game plan for the week, guys. Game plan for the week. This is something that I think, we have seen, we talk about every week. People still just refuse to follow it.
Throw this out the window.
Yeah. Every single, especially on Mondays. Monday should be your lightest day.
Friday.
And Friday. Why should Mondays be your lightest day? Well, you haven't traded all weekend. It's like going into a game with no warm up, right? You're just going to go in cold. So why Monday morning you guys are slamming the first trade, $2,000 on the first trade, and it's like, why? You haven't traded all weekend. It's the market needs to play out on Mondays. Mondays, personally, and how everyone should be, are literally always my lightest trade of the entire week.
Yeah. Especially the first trade on Monday.
And especially like this last week, literally my first trade on AMD, guess how much? I bought 5 contracts. That's it. My typical average is 25 to 10,000 on a trade, where it's between 25 and 5,000 is typically where I'm on. And Monday, I literally bought 5 contracts the first trade. Some of you are slamming $2,000, fucking $20,000 on a trade. I was like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? Like, that's not how you do it, guys. You have to, on Mondays, have to play light, especially the first trade, especially if you're taking a trade within the first 30 minutes to 1 hour. Lightest trade of the entire week, right? 1 to 2 trades max on that day, right? 1 trade really is good. 1 of runs on Monday is good. I would say no more than 2 trades for most of you, right? But really just 1 trade a day, especially on Mondays, right? And every single trade on Monday is light, right? Because you're getting back into the game. You're warming up. You're looking at the price action. Yes, you could look at charts the entire weekend but looking at a chart and actually being in the price action while it's moving and the volatility is two completely different things, right?
Mhm.
So Monday, guys, it's coming to every single Monday. Light, very light. Your lightest trade of the day, 1 to 2 contract. It's super light, guys. It's super light Monday
Yes.
always. Tuesday, you can go heavier, right? You had Monday practice, price action proceeds to be good. Tuesday, you can go a little bit heavier, right? 1 to 3 trades max. And that's why I say 1 to 3 trades max a day for most of you. Say 99% of you. Should really be 1 trade a day, max 3. Over 3, it starts to go down out the window. Can go heavier Tuesday, can go heavier Wednesday, can go heavier Thursday, right? And why is this? Why is it that the middle of the week, as we get into the week, it starts to get a little bit better for us to go heavier? Well, the market has now played out a little bit. It has now shown you on Monday, Tuesday has shown you some pretty solid levels. Kind of has shown you, are we still going to be kind of bullish? Are we going to get a little bit weaker, kind of bearish, right? But it plays out and it shows you some pretty big levels that it has rejected, that it has found support on. And then you can find those levels throughout the week, and then you can play to those levels more towards the middle to end of the week. And then we come to Friday, right? Fridays are like Mondays, one and done. That's all you really need on a Friday. Light day, only play with a portion of your profits, right? If you're up $1,000 on the week, you only play with $300. So if you lose it all, you're still up $700 on the week, right? If you're $1,000 in profits by Friday, why would you play with $1,000 profits? Or why would you throw $3,000 on a trade on Friday and then you lose all of your profits for the entire week? Just doesn't make any sense, right? Friday's going to the weekend, just one and done with profits. If you're red by Friday, then probably just don't trade, right?
Yeah.
If you traded Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and by Friday you're red on the week, you did something wrong. Something
Mhm.
went wrong. You need to figure it out. Probably best to just don't trade on Friday, because guess what? Market opens right back up at the same time on Monday, back through Friday again the next week with a million more opportunities for you to take trades. Right. So try to stick to this. Again, Monday's always light, Friday's always light. Can go heavier in the middle of the week if the price action is good enough.
Yep. I think well said. I think after this week too, this was a really good masterclass. How many of you guys liked this kind of refresher on keeping you grounded, keeping your expectations and goals realistic? Putting numbers actually into some of the verbiage that we use throughout the week, right? Yeah, how many of you guys like this? I think a lot of you guys need to hear it, especially after a couple of weeks now, just kind of being very rangy in the markets. Very rangy and very very tough trading. Okay, very tactical, very tough trading.
Um,
I think this was needed for a lot of people to hear again. I hope a lot of you guys took some notes. Maybe have some post-it notes you could put on your put on your desk, right, to remember, right?
Let me go over this.
Oh,
Building an
good.
account, guys. Some of you are new, a lot of you are new. Some of you have heard this before. But when you're building an account, 1 to 2 contracts for 50 to 100 trades. Sounds silly, sounds dumb, sounds like, oh, I'm not going to make all this money. Well, this is what's needed to build an account. And I fully believe in this. 1 to 2 contracts, 50 to 100 trades.
Mm.
Why? You're not size heavy. If you're going to have some losses, especially in the beginning, so keep your losses to a minimum, but at least you're playing with real money, right? Real money,
Mhm.
real trades, real emotions.
Yep.
1 to 2 contracts for 50 to 100 trades. What does this do? Well, again, you only have 1 or 2 contracts. So that means your entries have to be really good, right? Entries have to be good. Your exits have to be good. So this really keeps you to making great entries and great exits, right? Great entries and great exits. And what I mean by that is, because say someone throws $5,000 on a trade, they can hit a 10% trade and then a 15% trade and then have, some drawdown on the next trade and they'll be fine. But if you're only trading 1 to 2 contracts and you see 20, take 20, um, you could have 1 win and then 3 losses in a row. And obviously you can be red on the week, right? Because you're only playing with 1 contract. The entries and exits have to be phenomenal, right? So this will teach you to create very good entries and very good exits, along with what we talked about earlier. full circle, patience for those entries and exits. Since you're not averaging into a trade, right? You're not buying 1 to 2 and then 2 more and then 2 more. You're only taking that one entry, right? So staying very patient for it. Builds risk management, right? It shows you, when to take profits, when to cut losses early, and all of that. So I want everyone, especially if you're newer, especially if you're struggling, especially if you haven't had a profitable year yet, really 1 to 2 contracts, guys, 50 to 100 trades. And if you're profitable after that, you can then size up. I mean, how many drop them in the chat has done this and is seeing success? Let's see one in the chat.
Yeah.
I know some of you are in here that's actually doing this and
Yeah, I know
seeing
there's some people doing
success.
it right now. I know people that have done
There
this.
we go. See,
Uh,
I mean, we're not just feeding you bullshit or just like, oh, this sounds good, so we want to tell. No, this is real. Like, we know what works. So stick to this, and I guarantee it will help you, right? It will help you get to the point where, because you have to build that foundation. And I talk about it a lot, is if you don't have that foundation, it's just like a building. You want to build that building as high as possible. Well, that foundation better be as strong as possible, right? If you have a weak foundation and you keep trying to build up, which meaning, yeah, I won a couple trades here and there. I have some money on the week, but you really don't have any risk management or any knowledge of entries and exits or anything like that. Then you start to oversize, especially a lot of traders from the 2020 era who just started in 2020. Easy. I may, you buy every single dip, every trade goes green, right?
yeah, no shit.
You can throw 3,000 on a trade, 5,000, whatever. You throw big money on trades. Doesn't really matter because every trade's going to go green.
Yeah.
You have to, and then what happened to a lot of those traders? Pretty much lost their entire accounts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you see story after story of I was up 50 grand, I was up 100 grand, and now I've lost it all.
Yeah.
Lost it all, right? Why? Because that foundation wasn't there. It's just imperative, and it's kind of the shitty part about trading that a lot of people don't want to talk about because it doesn't sell, right? This isn't sexy, it doesn't sell, but that's why we're here. I try to keep it real with you guys as much as possible. And I want to see you guys succeed. And, this is the reality of it. You have to build that foundation to get there, right? To
Yep.
get there. So,
Guys, I think a good way to put a story into what Justin's talking about with the foundation, right? You want to build it wide so you could build it tall. Taking these 1 to 2 contracts, 50 to 100 trades, sure, that's going to take you a month or two, right? But a month or two that if you would have kept your bad habits, you'd lose way more than you'd win, right? More than likely. And the only thing that changes when you go from 1 to 2 contracts to 5 contracts to 10 contracts, the only thing that changes is the emotions. Okay. And how you keep your emotions in check is by having the confidence in your setups that you're going to start taking, because you'll notice with those 1 to 2 trades for 50 to 100 trades, you're going to have a month to 2 months of taking. You'll notice a lot of time it's the same setup over and over and over and over, so that when you do size up, you have a very confident setup that you're looking for over and over and over and over. It's very boring. It's very mundane. Trading is not supposed to be overly exciting and all that. No, you look for the same thing over and over. You execute on it. You move on with your day. Very similarly is this, guys. I use this example all the time. Right? Justin knows we've gone to Vegas a few times. I go to Vegas, whether it's a $5 hand, $50 hand, a $500 hand, or a $5,000 hand. I'm playing that blackjack hand the exact same way. If the dealer shows this and I have this, then this. I mean, it's written out. It's a book already. Right? And it's not foolproof, but it sets myself up in the best odds. You're going to play that hand of blackjack the exact same way, whether there's $1 or $1 million riding on it. Same thing with trading. You're going to trade that same setup. You're going to execute the exact same way, whether you buy 1 contract for 50 cents or you buy 1,000 contracts for 50 cents. Okay. So build a foundation, and it will allow you to grow your account really high from there. As cliche as that sounds, it's very true. Okay. It's very true. So anyway, I think that's a good analogy to kind of wrap up that portion of building an account there. Guys, it's not, we have a realistic expectation. You're not gonna have $1,000 and think like, oh, by the end of the year I'll have $1 million. It's not realistic.
or even 100,000 or even
Or even
50 grand,
100.
honestly.
50. Okay, do you guys
Turn
realize?
it-
Do you guys realize $1,000 to $50,000 is 5,000%? This 50x. That's insane, right? That's insane. Now, is it doable with somebody with skill? But with someone without skill that won't want to build the skill, absolutely not.
I want you guys to think about it. That's you just 5,000 percentage your account.
Your account.
Like think that's what we're talking
Hedge
about.
fund managers
Realistic
are begging
expectations.
for 10%. Right? And you guys are and you're thinking 5,000%. Wait a minute. Just have realistic expectations.
Yeah, I'll actually end this masterclass on realistic expectations.
Yeah.
So you've heard this before, but if you can get in the month and pay your phone bill, pay your card note,
Yeah.
pay any kind of
Groceries,
bill, groceries for the month,
insurance, whatever.
yeah,
Maybe part of your rent or mortgage.
you're winning, right?
You
Because
are
you
winning.
gotta think about it. You're going to work for 8 hours a day, making X amount, and then you're pressing two buttons to make this amount, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have real expectations, bring it down. You know, that's just it. Gotta have real expectations.
Yep. I think that's a good place to end, guys, is have some realistic expectations. You know, guys, watch this one again. I know this was a good one. There's a lot of little nuggets thrown out there. Have realistic expectations. I think we can end it on this, Justin. What's tomorrow? Is tomorrow Friday?
I think
I think
so.
tomorrow's Friday. What does Friday mean?
Um, Actually, I'm gonna have you guys drop it in the chat what it means for Friday.
What does Friday mean, guys?
Drop in chat. If you're up on the week, what do you do? If you're green on the week, drop in the chat. What do you do?
One and done. Don't
Yep.
trade. Well,
Full
don't
port
trade if you're
Friday.
red. Yeah. Full point Friday. Just kidding. One and done. Yes. How do you size, guys? How do you size? Take a portion. There it is.
Yep.
Portion
Perfect.
of profit. So even if you just shit the bed tomorrow, you're still green on the week. You still pay yourself. You still do all those things. Nothing makes your weekend start off on the wrong fucking foot by doing something stupid on a Friday and giving back all your gains for the week.
Yeah, because if you're green on the week and you just take a portion and you lose it all, you're still green on the week going into the weekend, and then you're going into next week green from the week before. There's nothing worse than being green on the week by Friday, losing it all, and then even ending red on the week.
And being
Oh
and
my God,
usually what happens is Friday is the day where you will turn a great week to a shit week because
yep.
you lose one day, you average down a bunch of times, and then you want to get it all back because you're like, fuck, I had all this. Now it's a weekend. The market's not open tomorrow. And this, and then you fuck it all up. Okay. Definitely don't want
And
to
then
do
it
that.
carries into the next week, and you start this really bad cycle, and it goes downhill very quickly.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Very bad. Yes. Guys,
Hey, great job,
in the chat,
ECS.
I posted the homework and a chart as well. Check it out. Please come prepared tomorrow. Okay.
And I will have my trade recap out to you guys as well tonight. Get that done here shortly over the trades taken today, especially that last one on the Qs on that Q call. I know a lot of you are like, what the hell?
Banger.
that one wasn't a banger, but they were like, what the hell? I was gonna go short there. But yeah, I'll show you guys what I was looking at to help you
Very
guys
nice.
out. But yeah, always watch the homework, watch the master classes, and again, anyone in the chat, just ask them, especially the ones that you're seeing where they're having success. They won't bite. I'm sure they'll answer your question. They might not go in depth or spend the time with you like we do, obviously, but I'm sure they will give you some sort of nice answer to your question of how they've, been able to see success and the things that they've done to get there. So, the homework is in the homework.
It's in the homework channel.
It is in the homework channel.
It's there. I posted it. Absolutely.
Yeah, look in the homework channel. So
homework channel. I am new. Go to the homework channel in the Discord. Yes, you will see it. It's in the trading desk. You will definitely see it.
But love all you guys. And again,
yes, love you guys. Thank you for coming out.
I believe in all of you.
Yes.
I know all of you can make it. It's just going to take time. Just going to take time, but I believe in you. We'll all get there together. 2024. I know we have 1 month left, so let's kill it. But this will be just take it as a practice month and then come ready to absolutely demolish.
Yeah. 2024 is if you don't start practicing your habits now, going into the 2024, you think you're just going to turn it on in 2024? Absolutely not. Start now. Start right now. Okay.
I'll see you guys.
That's it for me, guys. Yep. See you bright and early.
Have an amazing night. Love you
Yep.
guys.
Love you
Peace.
guys. Later. Peace.